Welcome, everyone. Thanks for joining. We've got our favorite regular, I wouldn't even call you a guest anymore, Bryce Holdaway
No,
joining us.
part of the furniture now, mate. Hello, everyone.
Mate, it must be cold where you are.
Mate, I'm not as blessed as you are to be in Queensland. I'm living in Victoria, in Torquay. So the start of the Great Ocean Road, but it comes with a bit of fresh breeze as we speak.
What's the degrees now?
Oh, I don't even look anymore. But yeah, somewhere in the teens.
Oh,
Somewhere in the teens. That's good
I
to
got,
see.
you'd be jealous. I reckon it's 25 degrees in Brisbane right now.
I am very jealous.
I was about to go for a swim.
Well, we still do that down here, mate. But where is
Good on.
everyone? Where is everyone in the chat? Whereas if everyone just puts it in the chat channel where they are, then I can either have misery enjoying company in the southern states or
Melbourne. Hey,
I
Ming.
mean,
One of our
yeah,
one of our one of our locals. Ming's been a client of ours, and she's been in the master classes. So, how are you going, Ming? You kicking goals?
Newcastle, but business is in Sydney. There,
Nice.
that person who said that is Jonathan Bell. How does that
Yeah,
happen?
I don't know how that's happened, to be honest. I'm from the
Yeah.
nine, so
You're a
I'm
much
coming.
you're a much better looking version. I'll take it.
How about that? You're a younger version, mate.
So Johnny, we got Gold Coast, we got
Goldie.
Sydney. Um, all right, so we got anyone else in sort of the southern states of Melbourne, Victoria? Reese is in Brizzy. Might also go for a
Hey,
swim.
Reese. Brizzy. Nice.
Very good. Hey, folks, it'd be great for you to if you want to put in the chat channel. Johnny and I have got a couple of things that we want to talk about today, but we'd love to talk specifically to any pain points or anything that you would like us to talk to. So if you feel bold enough to do that and put in a pain point that you're experiencing, Johnny's got obviously a lot of experience in scaling property management business, offshore business. He's a very successful business entrepreneur. I've got background in creating content, building a business, helping people invest in property. So yeah, we'd love to know what your questions are that you want us to hit so that we can make sure we're tailoring it, Johnny.
I've got an idea, Bryce.
Yeah.
Whoever asks a question will go in the draw, and Zoe will pick one of them to get a free access to our next masterclass.
Oh, well, there you go. If that if that isn't enough, I don't know what is.
No one asks questions, I'll be severely insulted. But no, I'm excited for today, Bryce. We've got a bit of a theme where we were going to ask each other, we were going to co-interview each other around what are the three reasons that we believe that each like what we believe that we've in the position we're in, and what are the three keys of success that we both feel like have got us into the positions that we're in business so far.
Yeah, well, first one for me is growth mindset. I've 100% been investing in lifting my skills at all levels. I remember I went to a conference in the States just before COVID, and it was really clever marketing, but they got us to write down where you see yourself in a year. And at the time, we had about 50 staff in our business, and now we've got 120. But I remember at that time saying, I've got to break my mindset, break my beliefs on what it takes to actually have a business that employs over 100 people. And so lots of surrounding myself with good people and lots of investing in skills to be able to do that. So for me, 100%, if you don't have a growth mindset, it's very, very challenging. What about you, Johnny?
Well, it's similar. I've actually got, so I think there's two ways that you can live life and run a business. And you've got the scarcity mindset and the abundance mindset. And I think that setting up for success, I think shifting your mindset to an abundance mindset, and I'll explain the difference, has probably been something that I've been lucky enough that I was probably born with that type of attitude, and I got to surround myself with some really good people. But I think the scarcity mindset is, if I had a scarce mindset right now, I wouldn't share anything that I'm doing because it's mine, and I don't want anyone to be able to have any success because I've had it. An
Mm.
abundance mindset is the more people that I help and the more people that I can show that what we've done, it will come back to me. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next year, but at some point it'll come back. And I've had that happen so many times. I met a guy that I helped out about 3 years ago. I met him yesterday, and I didn't even know, but he was out there referring managements to us because of that one interaction 3 years ago. And I
Wow.
just thought that was really special. And I think that when you're in a situation, sharing, helping, and if you own a business here, how can I add value to my network and how can I help other people grow? That has been a big part of the growth that we've had. And I'm lucky enough to have a very amazing team now because I think all of us have adopted that philosophy.
Yeah, 100%. I remember when we first started the podcast, we got a podcast called The Property Couch. It's now approaching 20 million downloads, Johnny. So it's been amazing. We're approaching a decade. But I remember the concept was, when you're in high school, you usually cover your answers and don't let anyone watch them. But the whole idea of letting all your, I guess, secrets out into the marketplace via a podcast platform, I did think that it was going to be the end of the business because I'm thinking, well, if they get it, if I give all that information, will they come and use us? But I've since learned that is a way that you create community and you create trust within a group of people who are attracted towards the message that you have. So I double down on what you said. Hey, there's a question here, Johnny, from Cameron Knight. He just bought a portfolio of 360 out of admin from different property management. It came with their tech and would like some tips on growth.
Love it. Cameron, congratulations. Have a fun 3 months trying to bed that down. And I think that the main thing I would do is, especially from that portfolio, is because it's come from a tech background, right? They probably haven't had a level of service or a personalized level of service that a lot of landlords want. And I reckon you don't have to do too much to be amazing to them. So if depending on how involved you want to be or whoever it is that's running that business, I would call every single one and I'd say, I'd like to personally introduce myself. I am doing this and I do want to grow to 1,000 managements in the next 18 months. What I want to do is show you and prove to you that I can give you a level of service that you've never had before. And if I do, I'd absolutely love the opportunity to work with any of your friends and family. And I'm more than happy to give you a little gift or a referral if you can do that for me. Those 360 people are your core database. And I would be really focusing on over servicing them and turn them from clients to friends if you can. Get to know them. The other thing I'd be doing is cross-reference. Out of the different portfolio, I know that a lot of those investors are savvy, so they probably have multiple properties. Even if they're not in your area, find out where they are, refer it to someone in a different state and get them to refer to you. So build relationships with other people in different states. There's 20 people on here. I'd say a lot of them are in property management. You guys should all be referring to each other. I've got a client. I've got a lady who isn't in my service area. She referred us 35 managements in our service area, didn't ask for anything because we built a good relationship and she couldn't manage them. And she just loved what we were doing. So she said, I don't even want a referral fee. So I think that that's probably the two things that I would be doing right now to be able to, bed that down, but then also you can use that to leverage growth.
Cam, how many other properties outside of those 360 do you have? Are you comfortable saying?
How many outside of the 360?
Yeah, is there other in the book, or is that the starting point?
No, we bought the 360, and they spread across Sydney, Newcastle, and the Central Coast. The biggest concentration is in the eastern suburbs of Sydney.
Yeah.
We've had them 6 months now, John.
Yeah.
And we've just adjusted the fee structure up 1% in total across the board, which was successful. We only lost one management out of doing that.
Nice. That's impressive.
So yeah, I really appreciate what you said because it was exactly what I was thinking would be the next step, but I haven't really directly managed a property management portfolio before. I've had a different background, which we won't go into, but excuse the pun again.
And I'd be looking over the hill as well, right? So you've got this immediate need to onboard them and do all of the things that Johnny just said with service levels.
Yeah.
But ultimately, your follow-up question is you want to get another 250 properties under management in the next 12 months. So the way you do that is by getting those clients that you've just got on board, and then you need about 10 to 12 raving fans out of that experience, right? Where they just say, you are what you say you are, you've done what you said you'll do. And then what we would do is, and what we've done with Johnny's business is that we go to those raving fans and we say, can you talk to us for about 25 minutes on your experience? And it's really a before and after shot. And it's like, what was life like before you came across Cam and his business and what he was doing. And what was life like now that they solved the problem? And what was the service levels that they gave you? And why would you recommend that they, if someone else came to you, why would you recommend them? It takes about 25 minutes. There's about 6 or 7 questions that we can help you with on the hero's journey. And then you capture those and then you just get them edited down to about 2 minutes. And then that becomes your silent sales force in the background, building your brand for your business. And that's what's happening. Johnny gets about 30 last month, last day of the month, his business is on track to do 100 new managements in the month. And about 30% of them are just directly inbound based on success stories, sharing that he does within his business. So there's 2 parts. One, onboard them, get them to the service level, but be thinking about, okay, I need about a dozen raving fans as a result of those 360 that you've purchased who are willing to come on a Zoom call like this. And then you edit them in a way, it's pretty simple, so that they become on your website. So every BDM activity you do, every conversation you have, every landlord you meet, you say in a follow-up, you flick them a note with one of these videos, which is really compelling about your brand, but it's just someone else edifying why they should use you. You will see some exponential growth on that, because 1 tells 2, 2 tells 4, 4 tells 8. It's better than any other linear way that you can grow your business.
It's the single most powerful thing I've done in my business in the last 12 months, Cameron. Go on my website, Housemark, and scroll down a bit. You'll see all these reviews, and it's all my clients talking about our service. Since doing that, our fees have gone up. Our conversion rate from listing to appointment has gone up. And our BDMs, they'll go into a house, do a presentation, leave the house, and then send a video of a similar client and say, hey, this person reminded me of you, and this is their experience. It's the best social proof. Beats Google reviews every day of the week. So that's what I'd be. Yeah, nail your 360, and Bryce's advice was amazing. And then get some of them who you build good relationships with on camera, on a Zoom call like this. And Bryce and I can help you with that if you want to reach out privately to do that as well.
Love some help. That'd be awesome, guys. Thanks.
No, we can help with that. Hey, Emma's asked a question here, Johnny. I reckon we both can have a swing at this. Probably you first. The use of VAs, virtual assistants, we call them remote professionals, but they're the same. And what roles do you use them for? Fire away, Johnny.
Hey Emma, I can see you. How are you? She said good, thanks. She's just on mute if anyone thinks she was ignoring. Emma, I'd turn it around and say there's actually nothing they can't do except the physical activities. What I would suggest if you're going on this journey, number one, we can send you a task list of everything, so that answers it very detailed. The other way is and reach out to Soham. He's on the call. He manages all of these webinars. So if you want that task list, we'll send it to you. What I would do but for everyone here, and this is probably number 2, this links in with my number 2 reason that I think we've grown so quickly, is delegation. Get a list, get a piece of paper, and write down throughout the day, every single thing you do. And then after that you finish the day, highlight the ones that you should not be doing that aren't helping you grow your business. So you'll have a list of 30 things. It's actually really confronting, because there'll be 3 on there that you actually should be doing, and you're filling your time with 27 things that aren't dollar productive. So that would be something I would encourage everyone to do. I do it about once a month, just to reset and go, wow, I shouldn't be doing that anymore. I'll train someone else. Delegate. And that's probably my number 2 reason, is I delegate anything that is not building relationships, growing the business, or focusing on strategy. If it's not doing those things, I'm not doing it. And I've got an amazing team in the Philippines who does a lot of my back end. So get the task list, Emma, and then number 2, write that list.
And for me, Emma, I've got a business that employs 120 staff. 94 of them are based in Australia, and 26 of them are offshore. And so just for example, in our buyers agency business, we, like Johnny, we get all the non-dollar productive work done based with our remote professionals. And here's the thing, that it's actually it's a net positive culture experience for our team, because some of that non-dollar productive stuff gets a bit routine and monotonous, as you know. And so the onshore team, their energy and their lethargy around doing that stuff was actually net negative on our culture. So what we did is we took that away. And then when we gave that opportunity to our team based in the Philippines. They're incredibly grateful. They're incredibly energetic about it. And in amazing contrast to if you just picture yourself in the Philippines, if they work for an Australian-based business or they work for an American-based business, it's two entirely different experiences for them. If they're an American based, and I saw this when I was chatting with them when I was over with Johnny last September, is they start at 10 o'clock at night and finish at 6 o'clock in the morning. To be front of clock in the US, they have to be back of clock in the Philippines. So that's one. Two, they have to travel for 3 hours into these beautifully spec'd offices in Manila. Like, they're great environments, but 3 hours there, 3 hours back. So that's 6 hours plus 8 hours. They're very, very lethargic and tired. And even then they have a wonderful level of service. Whereas when they work for an Australian business, they're front of clock and they work from home. So they don't have the 3 hours commute and the 3 hours commute home, plus they're front of clock, and they just have a wonderful work-life balance that they don't get working with the US company. So it's actually very positive for them to work with the Australian base. So non-dollar productive work, they're very excited about it. It's better conditions, better opportunity working for Australian-based businesses. So everyone wins, obviously, because it helps with our margin. There's no doubt about that. But it definitely helps with our service level, and it means that our buyers agents actually get to buy more properties as a result of the non-dollar productive work being outsourced. What business are you in, Emma?
Property management.
Property management. Yeah, Johnny's your guy for that. He's got the blueprint. How to market to international landlords? I can't help with that. Have you got many international landlords, Johnny? Can you help with that?
No, not a significant amount. I'll tell a story though. I met a very successful guy who owns an offshoring company, similar to Wingman, and he was on the Gold Coast. And I said to him, "Give me one piece of advice." And he said, "Get on a plane and go to America." And no word of a lie, the next day I booked my flights, and 3 days later I was on a plane to America. Not to say you should do that, Ming, but I think, and it probably leads into the next question about being face to face. Do whatever you can to build a profile and get in front of the people. So if you've got, if there's a buyer's agency, so let's look at Dubai. A lot of people in Dubai want to buy properties in Australia, expats, and also the Chinese as well like to buy properties here. What seminars, what expos, what people work in those international markets, and how do you get in front of them? So I'd be going to Dubai and I'd be going to the seminars and trying to meet as many people as I could. Or I'd be doing Zoom calls with buyers agents who buy properties in Brisbane, who can then, or wherever you are, Australia, so that you can then get a connection. So if Bryce was living in London helping people in Europe buy properties in Brisbane, you'd want to get in front of Bryce because he would then introduce you to the clients in Australia.
Yeah, 100%. Ming, are you talking about expats who live internationally investing in property, or foreign investors investing? Put that in the chat channel. We might be able to add to that. Next one here is foreign investors. Okay, so you got to buy brand new stuff anyway. Yeah, what Johnny just said is fine. And then get in front of influencers. If someone's got YouTube channels that they're marketing, build a relationship with them. If someone's got a podcast, build a relationship with them. So my podcast has international audience, usually expats. I had someone reach out to me this morning who's based in Canada, has a question about that. So an Aussie living in Canada wanting to invest in Australia. So that's another way to do it. If you can't present face-to-face with a prospect or over the phone, what is the next best way? I don't know if my email proposal is doing the trick.
Over to you, Bryce.
Yeah, well, email's crowded and diluted, and I would certainly try and get a conversation going with them on WhatsApp. And I teach my team to voice note to text. So a lot of people don't want to engage in a conversation, but are happy to exchange backwards and forwards via voice notes. So you might want to reach out to them. If you leave a voicemail, they won't listen to it. But if you leave a voicemail on a text message, everyone listens to it, right? So it's another opportunity for you to reach out. But you've got to find a way to create a hook that's what's in it for them. What's in it for them? Because they know that you want something from them, and they will smell commission breath a mile away. But it's kind of making sure that you, for me, any cold outreach is being very, very specific about what they do, doing a little bit of backstory work on just have a quick look on their social media and reach out to them in a way that makes you sound like you're a long lost friend who knows a little bit about them, versus that typical sales resistance that comes up when you start using language like, hey, how's it going? How's your day? That's an instant gate up for sales resistance.
So it's so true, Bryce. And I always say to my team, when someone says, oh, I'm too busy or I don't have time to meet you, busy does not exist. You're not a priority. So if you called someone and said, hey, I've got $1 million cash, do you want to come pick it up? They'll cancel everything and come and see you. So I think that it's basically when someone says, I'm too busy or I can't meet you, or, if that's the reason, Megan, I think that it's all the way it's presented. So if you're trying to meet a potential referral partner, for example, if you own a property management business and you want to meet Bryce to get referrals, if you call him and say, hey, I'd love your referrals, he'll be busy. But if you said, hey, Bryce, I've got 2,500 landlords, they all are looking to, continue to grow their portfolios and wanted to see how we can add value to our investors. Is that something you'd be open to participating in? He's not as busy anymore. So I think that it's in the dialogue and it's in the way that you present. And then the other part of it as well is I think that Zoom, I don't know if that's something, Megan, if they're not in your state, Zoom's better than a phone call as well. And I think that the other one is FaceTime and video of yourself if you've got the confidence.
Add value without asking. The longer you can delay the ask, the better. And that's very, very difficult. I'll give you an example. On the weekend, I went to ARIC and Ryan Sahart was there, and someone ran out of the crowd and they said, "Can I take a selfie? And here's some lollies." So they got him some pineapple, chocolate coated pineapple, and gave him a gift. Right. So they gave value to him, but within a millisecond, they said, "Oh, by the way, here's my card." So all of a sudden, that gift now comes with a catch. Right. So if you find someone that you want to network with and just keep giving value without the ask. It's like when someone says, my son comes to me this morning, he goes, "Dad, I don't mean to be a third parent to Jack, his brother, but," and then we all know whatever he said after the but was what he meant, right? And I tried to explain to him, I said, "Mate, everything you said before but doesn't matter because what you said after made it invalid." And so he kind of got it. But the point is, the same thing applies when we're trying to reach out and build relationships with people. So if you're a property manager and you work with, you want to establish a relationship with a mortgage broker, find something that you can do to add value to that mortgage broker and don't ask for anything in return. And then 2 weeks' time, find something else that you can give to that mortgage broker and don't ask for anything in return. And then continually adding value to that person, and it will invoke reciprocity eventually in that person, but it will evoke immediate resistance if you're like, here's something of value, and by the way, this is what I want. It is the slowest way to build out your network.
I gave my team a challenge, and I'll challenge everyone on here who wants to participate, so this was the theme of last week for our team. Do something for someone else in the team without expecting anything in return. So doing something for someone else is hard because you're busy and you care about your family and, your close-knit circle. So doing something for someone else is hard. Doing something for someone else and not expecting anything in return is really hard. So a lot of times you do something and you're hoping something in return. If you do something for someone and expect nothing in return, I think that is, number one, just an amazing way to live. But number two, what does come back in years to come, I think is huge.
Johnny, here's one that I came up with yesterday I was talking to a sales agent. Is there any sales agents on this call or all in the property management field? If anyone wants to let me know if there's any sales agents here, that would be helpful. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. But one of the sales agents I was talking to yesterday, very, very well-established agent, and he started his own podcast. And he created this podcast that was mindset. And he said, "What do you think?" Because I've obviously been podcasting for a decade. I said, "Well, the challenge with the lane that you're going down is you're competing with Tim Ferriss, Joe Rogan, Diary of a CEO, the behemoths that are trying to get into people's headspace around mindset." So here's what I said that I think you should do. I said, I think you should create a podcast for your patch. So let's just say, I don't know, help me out here, Johnny, in Brizzy. If we did New Farm, Newstead, what's 6 or 7 sort of suburbs around there that someone someone would want to be an expert in and known for in that patch. And what I would do is I would go and interview all of the local businesses, and I'd get them on a podcast, and I'd ask them, tell us about your journey. And I'd ask them the hero's journey. And what I would do is, instead of prospecting to the locals, I'd actually, instead of saying, want a free appraisal, I'm going to say, want to hear some cool stories of local people in your area? And I'd drive ears and eyeballs to that. And then at the end of that podcast, I'd be saying, oh, by the way, my name is, Johnny Bell, and I service this community here. What it would do is it would create me as an expert in this little area that I'm going to be. But the other thing is I'd create a flyer that I would then go and put inside the business, and I'd say my story featured on this podcast. So it would be this ecosystem that continually grows within my patch that I want to dominate in. And if you think, if I'm a property manager, I want exclusive agreements. To have exclusive agreements, I've got to talk to more people. I've got to have more appointments. To have more appointments, I've got to have more people know about me. So if you just go down the chain, and so he's going to do that, and it's going to be work really well. So if anyone here is so inclined, imagine you go and interview the person in your community that's been owning the local business for the last 43 years, and ask. They are so excited to tell their story, but then as soon as they hear their story, they'll be so excited to tell other people, come and listen. So it's this ultimate leverage vehicle that you can create. So, Johnny, if anyone on this call takes that up and does it, I guarantee they will create more inquiry than they can handle if they do it for 12 months. If they did it for 12 months, most podcasters, Johnny, stop at 5 or less. So that's the challenge.
I love it, Bryce. And for anyone who's needing to go at 12:30, we'll stay on for another 5 minutes. I've got a good question for Bryce. But we do run a masterclass once a month. We're fully full for the next masterclass, but we do have some spaces, Soham, in the following one. So if you're interested in the masterclass, reach out to Soham. He'll send you all the details. And then the other thing that Bryce and I are excitedly doing recently is we're actually helping people build those videos. So if you want some videos like we've done, and you want to be able to get some clients that are really happy, Cameron, if you start building those relationships, we can actually interview them for you and cut it all up in a way that you can then put on your website. So if you're interested in any of those things, please reach out to Soham and he will look after you. Bryce, can I ask you a personal question to finish off?
Wow, go for it.
An amazing career. What do you think? So what is your reason every single morning? And maybe it's changed over time, but what is your reason for getting up and focusing so much on your career and building the life that you've built?
One lifestyle by design. So being able to have time freedom was a goal. So that's nice to be able to achieve that. But two, I read a book by Zig Ziglar, How to Be a Winner, and the very first cassette tape I had in my car, Johnny, pre your birthday, but I was listening to my first Positive Mental Attitude, and he goes, you can have everything you want in life if you just help enough other people get what they want. And I just figured, how good is that? So I actually think the definition of success is largely how much value you add to other people. And so I guess
I remember you telling me that in the Philippines.
Yeah, and it's still true to this day, right? So our podcast, The Property Couch, is now downloaded 50 to 70,000 downloads a week. We've helped a number of people in our business achieve, there's the book there, $2,000 a week. How do they do that? It's usually buying 2 or 3 investment properties. And one of the joys, I've just done a talk over in Perth last week to a property management business, where the conversation I had with that property management owner was, hey, I understand that your churn on your business is largely, some people come off because they've got to sell for whatever reasons, but there's some people who just change their mind about investing in property. So it was really nice to help them lift their eyes, remember what the game is, that most people who have a goal of 2,000 a week can usually get it done with 3 properties or less, Johnny. And most people stop at 1. So if you think about all the property management businesses in this call, think about Cam, he's got 360 that he's just bought from different. Be interesting to see how many of those are different landlords and how many of those are actually landlords who've got 2 or 3, right? And I'd be interested in your feedback if you've got it without notice there, Cam. But most people, 73% of all property investors stop at 1. So if you can just get them to buy 2 and lift their eyes, that is actually just growth in your business straight away. And if you can actually remind them that they what they're doing it for in the first place, which is a decades game, not a year's game. A lot of people in this call would have a very, very strong growth businesses, which is good. So long answer to your short question, Johnny, but largely focusing on other people has been a superpower that I stumbled across, and it served me very, very well. What about you?
I love it. Well, my dog just jumped on my lap.
Yeah,
Hope that
nice.
makes everyone's Friday. This
Yeah.
this is becoming my why at the moment. No, I think I'll finish it off really short and sharp, is the ability to do what you want when you want to do it, and to do it with people you enjoy doing it with. So to me, that's really what I want to be able to. If I want to go away, I'll go away. If I want to spend time with the dog, I'll spend time with the dog. But it's also the thing I've learned probably the hard way, and the thing that I think I want to keep focusing on is, I don't care what financial gain there is. If it's not with someone I want to do it with, then I'm not doing it, because there's no financial gain that beats good connections and relationships.
My final comment, and well said by you folks, he's not even 30 yet, just with that wisdom. But I will say that I actually thought property management was a game that was very, very difficult to win at. And I've been dealing with property managers for the last 25 years. I don't have a property management business. But one of the refreshing things about meeting Johnny is there's people who say I want to change the industry, and there's people who actually, but very few who do. And the way that he's structured his business in a way that he can get this growth and onboard 100 new managements in the month of May is something that it changed my paradigm on how it could be done. It changed the way I'd see a lot of property managers hit glass ceilings, where they say, I want to grow. I want my property managers to be able to have more properties per senior property manager, but they weren't able to do that. So what I would strongly recommend for everyone in this call who is definitely growth minded and has ambition to grow their business is, I would definitely encourage you to consider going in the masterclass. It's 4 weeks, and Johnny unpacks everything that he's done. And anyone, I've been doing a number of these with him, and generally someone says to me, what do I got to do to grow the business? And I get super real with them and say, hey, listen, unless you can do change management within your business, it's going to be very, very difficult, because the traditional way of doing property management has a number of reasons why it's difficult to go past those glass ceilings. So yeah, so just I guess a little encouragement for anyone who wants to do that and grow, model that business. And then in that masterclass, it's growth and how you increase it, but it's also how you get that foundation right. So so check that out.
I always love spending time with you, Bryce. I know your time is valuable, so thanks so much for coming on. To everyone who invested 30 minutes with us, I really appreciate it. It always is humbling when we have people come in and listen to Bryce and I chat. So thank you so much. And we do these every Friday, so feel free to join, and hopefully we've added some value. If you've ever got any questions, put them in the chat. We'll always answer them and be as open as we can. I'm going to leave with a quote. I heard it this morning. In life, think big, think really, really big, and then double it again.
Yeah, how good's that?
Good way to finish, Bryce.
It is a very good way to finish. So there you go, folks. Hopefully that's helped you. Have a great weekend. So he's put some details in the chat for a couple of things. If you want to see if you want to see the video of how we do success stories, can you go back to him? He will definitely send that to you in response to you showing some interest in that. So Johnny and I have done it in both of our businesses. If you want to see what it looks like, let him know and he'll flick you a note. But great quote to finish on. Have a great weekend, everyone. And
thanks,
we'll see you next
guys.
time.
Thanks, Bryce. See you later.
See you, crew. Bye-bye.